My name is Susan Lausevic, and I grew up in Australia in a small country town. No, I never thought I'd marry a minister. There are a few things I said I would never do. I would never marry a minister, a truck driver, or a farmer. Mainly because I thought a minister's life would be boring. That kind of was a bit dull in my young girl mind. But I've since learned that I'd never say never, because I end up with a minister and life has always been very interesting. And he does travel a lot, so it's just like being married to a truck driver. And he grew up on a farm, so he knows how to farm, so I end up with the whole three. I wasn't marrying a minister, I was marrying a person that we got to know each other. And ministry comes later. Ministry is a calling, but I knew he already had a calling. We've been married 40 years. We worked together, and often I would go to Bible studies with him, and we saw then, instead of it as an individual going to Bible studies when you go with your husband, it established me in the faith because I grew up kind of isolated. I wasn't going a structured church until I was 20 because we lived like 8 hours away. So yeah, when we were ministry together, we were bringing in whole families then. Whole families would join because I would talk to the mother. I would see what their problems are, see how they're dealing with it. And sometimes we would be able to help them more because the mother would talk to me about family issues more so than the husband would to Peter. And so we're able to help family solve a lot of issues together. We met at a World Youth Convention. This youth convention was in Pennsylvania. I was just 18 and Brother Sass was the first world youth leader at that time, and he organised the first actually World Youth Convention in the States, and he encouraged a lot of Australian young people to save, and he gave us quite a few years because I left school. I worked for an accounting office for a few years and I saved every penny I could because I wanted to just explore and get around. So I came over with a group of young people from Australia, and we met as a group, and it wasn't till a couple of years later that Peter turned up in Australia because he hadn't forgotten who he had seen. Usually you don't go both down together. If you do, it's pretty hard. So it's one or the other, and a lot of times you rely on each other's strengths. There's strengths that I have that soften him a little, and there's strengths that he have that I lean on him. We handled them in a way where we would go and set a time apart where we would just take a little time to rejuvenate and just not be constantly involved in the work. Make little times together. Things like that is creating memories together. And he loves building. He has an outlet as well. That's his creative outlet, is building. Yeah, he's got a creative outlet. I have a way to do things. And, you know, we're complementing each other, but we have our own individuality. Yes, especially those in ministry, is have an occupation. You have resource that you can also rely on as well. If you need extra income, you've got it. And if you're alone a lot, it's good to keep yourself occupied. And, you know, it's easy because, you know, if you're getting moved around, you're going to get homesick. You're going to want the people that you used to have around. You got new places then. After doing 20 years in accounting, I went back to school and did health work. And I actually had my own clinic in Atlanta, and I had a very successful clinic in Australia doing natural healing and health. So when we would travel places, then he would often do the missionary school training or whatever, and I would do health talks and cooking classes or something. So it's a team effort of making, something that will work. So in that way we complemented each other too. And then also another one I did was women's retreats for Bible workers' wives. That was fun doing, and got Bible workers' wives to actually join in and give little encouragement. It's a unique circle, and they often struggle alone. There's a lot of questions, but when you're together, you can support each other because we're going through similar things. Keep yourself occupied when your husband's away, and sometimes it's a standing joke now, if he's home too long, I'm like, when do you have to go? Because I have things to do. So that way, that helped me get over, I'm lonely, when you're coming home and this, that, and that makes it harder for him. They're getting 2 for the price of 1, usually, in the ministry.
Well, thank you.
No worries.